Hi everybody. I'm sure there's more than one person out there that tried to research how to get more than one person to get notifications from MS Forms or open videos and photos from a MS Form. And we did a lot of research and the best way that we could find, not maybe the easiest, is to actually set up a MS Form and then go into Outlook and set up a rule. And that's what I want to show you today. So what we're going to do first is obviously have to log into your Microsoft account. I've done that through my OneDrive. So once you have opened that up, you can go to your apps and we're going to obviously now create this form. So once you tick there and it opens up for you, you can decide what you want to create. Now, in this case, we want a form because we, for instance, use it to log incidents, and also we log it with maintenance issues. And we want more than one person to get the notification once an issue has been logged. In the incident form case, I need to get the notification. In the maintenance form, both me and one of my colleagues, Marnie, need to get that notification. But if you can see, Sophie is actually the owner of both these forms. So unless we set something up, only she can see the photos and get the notifications. And we need to get every time ask permission, and then even then you are not always able to open up the video or photo. So how do we do this? Okay, we're going to set up a new form, and I'm not going to do this one. I'm going to use the one I've already set up. And in this case, I just want to tell you that you don't need to complete the whole form. You can start off just by having one, for instance, question. And you can always come back and change your form. But what we need is at least one response to be able to set up the rule in Outlook. So I need the email notification to Outlook to set up the rule. Okay, so I've just put the name up there, and I've actually just added something like name. And what I need to do next is obviously critical. I need to do the settings and make sure I have ticked, or whoever needs or can respond or open up the form and respond to it. I need to make sure also, very critical, that I'm still accepting responses, and then you can tick whatever you want down here. And then very important is this bottom part, is the response receipts. I need to have allow receipts and get email notifications ticked. Okay, so that's the one thing. The next thing is, okay, well, that's all said and done. How do I now get my colleague, for instance, to help me out to respond to this? I need to have my form. I need to get that copy, the link to that copy, and email it to her. So I can click here to get the copy, or I can actually add her email address here, make sure I send it via Outlook on my form. But I'm going to do it in Outlook. So I've copied this link, and I'm quickly going to send her email in Outlook with that link and let her respond, and so I can have at least my first response to complete the rest of the task in the Outlook for the rules. I'll come back just now with that. Okay, so now we're in Outlook. When we set up everything, and you might have, and I've seen people online having the same issue. Now you've set up your form, you've ticked all the notifications must be sent to you, and everything looks dandy. But then you get nothing at all. So what happened? Oh, okay. It's after how many, I don't know, hours of research, I want to say. We found that actually Outlook was throwing it into the junk mail. So you will see, for instance, this maccount Microsoft.com. That is from my Microsoft. So what do I need to do to get these released on a permanent basis? So I need to take this email and throw it into my inbox. So once I get to my inbox, It's sometimes there immediately, but sometimes it takes a while. If it's there, you will see the postmaster email, and here's my email. So this was another form that we had to release, but we'll do the same because all my MS forms comes from the same account. So I can release it, but I don't want to release just this one. I want to release all of them. So I need to click on permit. So when I do permit, it goes onto Google, and you will see, okay, everything has successfully been processed. Okay, so let's go back to my Outlook. And here's one of those forms that we received that was released after I've done that. We made the test again because it took us how many tests and forms and whatever to eventually get to this point where oh goodness, it's in the junk box. Okay, so it's been released. This is what you will then get from here on in future. So now I've got my first response from my colleague Sophie. I haven't changed anything because I can always go back and do my actual form and do all the responses, questions in there. But for this exercise, I only needed this. How do I now set up the rule? I have to right click, go down to rules, and you will see it opens up this window, create a rule. Okay, now very important, I need to tick everything from Microsoft Forms with the subject of this email. So this email basically is its name. I need to make sure that any responses with this basically subject line will come to not me only, but I have to go to advanced options because I now have to set up who else needs to get it. Double check, those are ticked. Yes, it is. Okay, next. Now I have to decide, okay, do I want it to be forwarded with an attachment, without attachment, or do I want it to directly redirect it without me actually receiving a notification? So I'm going to want this notification myself as well, but I also want it to be forwarded to other people. And in this case, I need to go down here because I need to choose who those other people will be. So double click, and now I can actually go and search for instance, my colleague, and add her to the form. And I'm going to double click. You will see her name here, and I can actually add more extras onto here. For now, it's just her. And I say, okay. So now you see it's changed. The MS form with this email in the subject line name goes to also Sophie. Next. I don't want any exceptions in this case, and I will click next. And I can give it a name for this rule. So let's say MS form test again. Okay. So that's the name of test again. And I can turn this rule on to start from now on. Or if I might have set up the form already previously and I've got other notifications that I want to have forwarded to Sophie, I will also click run this rule now on messages that's already in my inbox. And then finish. Now, obviously, I'm going to cancel because this is just for your demonstration. But this is basically all that you need to do. Now, I want to show you some example of what happens of where I'm actually into one of that rules. The maintenance that Sophie has set up. So I received a forward notification for that maintenance reporting. So what is nice, I can view the results and Marnie can view the results. So we both get the notification. So I can click and view this notification. So let me open it up. Here's I want to show you. So how else I can see is all the other notifications. I can go to them and download the Excel, or I can go to the individual results. In this case, is what I want to do. I can see all the information that was logged. And what's the beauty? I can open this and I can save the image to my, for instance, download. and I can use that image later on. So I can look at the video or image without asking Sophie for permission and waiting for her, or spamming her poor inbox with permission asking of any kind. So that is one of the beauties of this rule. The other thing is, what's also a beauty, that both Marnie and myself can have a look at. So if I'm, for instance, on leave, Marnie can also look at this form, or Sophie herself can look at this form. I just want to quickly show you also one last thing, that in this case, Sophie can change the permissions by again right-clicking on any of the notifications she's receiving from this form and just going again to the rule, this time not creating but managing the rule. Now obviously I won't see what she's seeing at this stage, because she can only she can actually change that rule. That's the only other down part of that, is the owner of the form will be able to change the rule. So the one thing that still might be an issue is that nobody else is actually going to be the owner of this form that that Sophie has set up. Or if I set it up, I can't change the owner, but I can at least have the notification sent through to other people. So when, for instance, the owner is not at the company anymore, somebody else unfortunately needs to set up the form again to become the next owner. So we have not found a way to change the form of ownership. You can add collaborators to the form, but not ownership, like in Google form that can be changed. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you can use this maybe for yourself in future, and spare yourself from a lot of hours of research and taking you nowhere. Thank you for listening.